because we understand what's coming. If you can't see what's coming with CU football, you've lost.
What's up, everybody? It's Prime Sports Media. Welcome back to the channel. Let's get at it right now. Look, this is, we've been waiting about 2 weeks. CU's been on a bye, and Coach Prime has already said that, hey, when you got a situation like when they lose a game like they did against Stanford, giving up a 29-point lead, according to Coach Prime, hey, we don't really need a bye. We need to be playing the next game the next week. But the team has been off for these few weeks, and maybe this could be refreshing them, give them more enthusiasm to go against UCLA. They got more time to prepare. If they have more time to prepare, you would think that it would make them that much more ready for this game and want to prove that that loss to Stanford was a fluke. So this game is going to be exciting. They're going up against UCLA. I'm going to put this banner up here like so. UCLA and Pasadena at the Rose Bowl. That's going to be exciting, folks. I can't wait to see it. I know that a lot of you can't wait to see what's going to take place. But I wanted to say this right now. This is the key right here. Do you still believe in this team? Everybody, if you're rocking with this team, put I believe in the comment section, because we know that this is the first year of this program at CU. The team is going to get better. They're getting in recruits. Okay. They just got a top-notch quarterback in Antoine Hill Jr. And things are on the horizon. You have to believe. And I believe that CU is capable of beating UCLA, because you have to remember, people didn't think that they could beat TCU. But I think they're more incapable of being able to beat if they play their best game. And we have not seen them. And Coach Prime says he wants to see them play on all cylinders. Offense, defense, special teams. Special teams have to be more special. So I think everything is possible, because they have a man in Deion Sanders, who is the man, can make things happen. As you see right here, Deion is the real deal, everybody. Let's not play any type of games about this. He is definitely the man. Let me remind you of his stats. His stats are actually really, really incredible, everybody. So far, he has thrown for 2,420 yards on the season. He is leading the FBS in yards in the country as a quarterback. His TDs, he's got 21 TDs, only 3 interceptions, with a QBR of 72.4. Okay. Now his RTG versus the AP top 25 is 143.6. His completion versus the AP, which is the AP is the top players ranking, he ranks 67.9 on that list. Passing yards as the AP top 25, they've got Deion at 530. And touchdowns versus the AP top 25, they got him rated at number 5. Now, what does that mean? Basically, he's one of the top, at the end of the day, he's one of the top quarterbacks. And if you've got Deion on this team, anything is possible for them to beat UCLA. No team is unbeatable. And I think Coach Prime and this team, CU, has all the right stuff. If they can put everything together, they got to cut out the penalties, because the penalties have been killing them. I wanted to say this right here. I want to do a comparison between these two teams. Now, Coach Prime, as I bring him up right here, is a very proud man. He has said in press conferences he needs these players to recognize whether they love the game of football. There's a difference between just liking the game of football, but do they really love the game? And to love the game is that you want to sleep, eat, dream, and drink the game of football to be as successful as you possibly can. The question is, are the players on CU, are they completely committed? Are they completely dedicated to what Coach Prime is trying to do? And that's the question they have to ask themselves. What I want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I want to bring up a press conference just this week that Coach Prime took part in expressing what the team needs to do, the idea that they got to love this game, They got to win. He believes that they can play better, and he believes that they have had time to really settle in on what the task at hand is against UCLA, which is going to be a tough game. UCLA ranks pretty heavy in a lot of different things. Let me go right here and let you know the difference in the rankings. UCLA has a total of 29 touchdowns this year. They are led by their head coach, Chip Kelly. And you know, Chip Kelly is a type of coach who likes to run that spread offense. He likes to spread you out. And what he's been doing with UCLA as of late is that he's been running a dynamic passing game. Through 3 games in 2023, the Bruins under Chip Kelly, wide receivers are generating 83% of the passing attack. Do you understand what I'm saying? 83% of their passing attack. They're getting 83% of it generated, while the offense is averaging. This is the Bruins. This is what Colorado's got to watch out for. Is averaging a staggering 17.1 yards per completion. So this is something that they're going to have to watch out for with Skip Kelly. Remember, he is the one that really, as a coach, put the Oregon Ducks on the map with their spread offense. And what is a spread offense? Basically, what Chip Kelly is saying that he wants to do against Colorado is that he wants to basically go attack them through his air game, basically spread things out further with that spread offense. And what that means is that Kelly is going to widen his formation, giving great trust. He has great trust in his wide receivers, talent, and those formations that he needs to create, with the result of it being deep. They want to go deep on Colorado. They want to run deep, explosive routes. And that's been some weaknesses with the Colorado team in their secondary, because the defense up front needs to put more pressure on the quarterback, which ultimately will give more time for the secondary, with Shallow leading that secondary with 36 tackles this year. He's one of the leading safeties in the Pac-12 this year. Keep that in mind. So when you want to attack, what does that mean? I want to put this up. I want you all to recognize what I'm going to put up. What is a spread offense, and what does it do when you're running a wide offense like this? According to the breakdown here, it allows for 5 wide receivers on the field. The spread offense is designed to spread the defense out, create space for talented. This is what Colorado has also done too with their talented wide receivers like a Xavier Weaver. You get someone like Edwards out in the open, the running back Edwards, and Dylan Edwards, to be correct. You get him in the open. They need to get Alton out there in the open too. But this is what the Bruins are going to try to do to Colorado CU, is that they want to create space for their talented and fast runners to work in the open field. The spread offense is run from the shotgun formation, typically with a number of wide receivers, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you see that same formation with Shador. Shador does the same thing when they speed up their offense. They're getting guys out in space. It seems to me that Chip Kelly wants to do the same thing to CU that CU wants to do to their opponent. This is why this is going to be an exciting football game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I'm hoping and I believe that CU can keep up with scoring. I think they've had a good amount of time off to really get their thoughts together, to collect their thoughts, to make something happen. And let's hear with great fair use. This is fair use with the purpose of educating, parody, critical analysis, to break down what is happening today with this football game, this Colorado team against UCLA. But let's hear what Coach Prime had to say, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
How much do you think this team needed that rest and to get away and to
I don't think we needed to get away and we needed rest. We needed to maintain and keep on going. Yeah, it's just like you break up with a relationship. You by a week, you want to keep on going. I want to keep on going. I want to keep on moving. I want to keep on progressing. I want to keep on going forward. That's how I'm built to go forward. That's how man and woman is built to go forward. And we're thankful. We're appreciative. We didn't have many injuries. I think we're going to get maybe a couple players back due to injuries, but overall, I think we.
So as you can see right there, Coach Prime's making it very clear, everybody, as I had said before, he never really wanted the bye because they need to keep going to work through the problems that they had against Stanford. But in some ways, this could be a refresher for this team. You give guys a chance to get away from it a little bit, to study a little bit, watch the film, rest their bodies up a little bit because they've got some guys coming back from injury. I want to put this brother up here, like a Savion, who's coming back. They could use him in the running game. I think that's fantastic, don't you think? So let's go back to Coach Prime and hear what he has to say again.
Injury-wise.
Coach, Monica Costello.
How you doing, Monica?
Associated Press. Thank you. I want to ask you, as a longtime baseball player, where sign stealing is considered an art, now as a football coach, where do you see, and you see where Michigan is?
I don't know how accurate that stuff is.
But what are your thoughts?
I mean, everyone's trying to get an edge. I mean, everyone's trying to get whatever edge they can. You could have someone's whole game plan. They could mail it to you. You still got to stop it. You still got to stop it. So in football, it's not as pronounced as baseball. If I know a curveball is coming, I got you. You know, with football, I don't give a darn if you know a sweep is coming. You still got to stop it. Physically, it's a physical game. You got to stop it. So that's a little tough.
You know, Coach Prime is making a great point here. You know, a lot of times you have great teams in sports where they have great players. You know that something's about to happen. You know that Jerry Rice is about to get the ball. You know that Joe Montana is about to run that screenplay, and you still have to stop it. Coach Prime is right. It doesn't matter what the team knows. It's whether you execute. That's the truth. Roof with thunder. Let's go.
I don't buy into a lot of that stuff that someone's stealing this, stealing that. I don't buy into a lot of that stuff. You still got to play the game. Back in our glory days with San Francisco as well as the Cowboys, you know darn well Emmitt Smith is getting the ball. You know darn well Mike Irvin is running the comeback. You know darn well Jay Novacek is going to do what he's going to do, and you couldn't stop it. It is what it is. Stop it.
Stop it.
Hey, Coach.
Facts.
Fox City One.
What's going on, boss?
How you doing?
Two shoes. I see you.
I'm back a little bit.
You back?
How do you evaluate whether players love the game or like the game, and can you motivate the players to love it if they only like it, or is that the standard that you set and you're just going to stick with what you want?
Actions speak louder than words. You can say what you love, but your actions don't line up with that love and that display of love. That's a problem. You can't measure the heart in football or in physical sports. So that's the thing that's missing, the heart of it. So when you're talking about love, you're talking about accompanying that with your heart, playing with your heart. And you could tell by the locker room or how some guys practice them, how some guys feel the pain of it if we don't win, how their heart is in it. And that predicates love to me. But it's tough to detect that. I wish we could detect the heart. We'll put every recruit that we have on a heart monitor and see where they are.
You know, this is really deep what Coach Prime is saying. You can't really test the heart. You have guys that like the game, maybe love the game, but you can't really measure the heart. And that's what separates the great players from just the good players from the average players, is their ability to digest the game based on the fact that they love it above all. And they eat it, they drink it, they sleep about it, they dream about it. And you really can't measure that. That's a very hard intangible, and Coach Prime is right. But it either is or not. I don't think you can teach it personally. You let me know what you think in the chat, in the comment section of this video, excuse me. I don't think you can teach that tangible. You either got it or you don't, but let's get back to Coach Prime here.
It would help us tremendously in recruiting, the heart. That's tough, though.
Hey, Coach. Troy Finnegan, CU Sports Report. Turning to this week for just a moment. You prepared for two quarterbacks against Stanford, but this week you don't really know who the starter is going to be. Chip Kelly said Dante Moore's banged up. He didn't play last week. What is the preparation look like when you really don't know? You're kind of in the dark on that.
Well, you prepare for the team. You're not preparing for an individual. For us,
So right here is Dante Moore. He's the young freshman phenom quarterback for the Bruins. They're saying that he's banged up from a week ago, but they're not even saying who's going to play. I wouldn't be surprised if you see this young man play on Saturday. But let's get back to Coach Prime. It is what it is, everybody.
is daunting because you would prepare for someone like Shador and the plethora of receivers that we have. With them, you prepare more for their coach. Their coach is phenomenal. I'm a Chip Kelly fan. I really am. I love what he's brought to college football. I love what he's brought to football, period. I met him. I took Shador on a visit there, a camp. I think I took Shador to a camp there, and I remember, having dialogue with Coach Kelly and just what he brought to the table. So I respect the heck out of him, and I really admire his accomplishments thus far in the game of football, not just college, but pros as well.
Hi, Coach Adam, Mr. Tiger, 24/7 Sports. You mentioned the possibility to get some guys back from injury. Is Savion Washington one of those? How has he looked moving around?
He looks good. He practiced yesterday. He looked good. I don't know if he made it through the whole practice, but he did what he set out to do. So he accomplished his goal. But that kid is tough mentally, physically. He's a dog. He's a future pro. He's one of the kids. I love all of them, but he's one of the kids.
I just want to say right now that I think it's great that Savion is going to be back. They need a guy like him. He can move. He can get you the short yardage. He's a bigger back. And I think it is fantastic the young man is back. He was injured. They didn't have his services against Stanford. They surely could have helped because they gave up that 29-point lead. And that definitely was embarrassing for the team, for the spirit, everybody. But hopefully having Savion back, they can get back on track. As you can hear Coach Prime saying what he means to the football team.
Fond of, and I love his story, and I just love what he represents for us. He wants to play. The time that he was injured and he had to leave the game, I mean, he was sobbing because he wanted it that bad. That I detected love in his heart and his mind and his spirit that particular game that he couldn't go any farther. But he's a dog, man. I can't wait to see him back. Helps us tremendously on the line.
Ariel Arsuto, 9 News. After the first game, I should say, Shador said that they had too much time basically to prepare in the offseason, and that's why the offense came out so fast and put up so many points. Does this bye week kind of represent a little bit of that sample to kind of give the offense just a lot of time to prepare for this next game?
Yeah, well, you've had a couple of weeks, but you got to understand they had a break as well, so they didn't have 2 straight entire weeks. They had a 4-day. They had 4 days off before we came back and worked on Sunday. Then we worked on Monday. We're off today. But no matter how much you prepare, you got to execute.
So as Coach Prime said there, they actually had a little bit of time off, a couple of days before they went into this bye. So either way, I think it can be refreshing for a football team, especially after coming off of a loss the way they did against Stanford. But Coach Prime knows best. He knows the barometer of his football team, and let's get back to him right now.
What you set out to do, we got to be. Thank you, Lord. we got to do better. We got to do better, and I'm pretty sure we will.
All right. So Coach Prime is saying that they got to do better, and he believes that they will do better against UCLA. I'm going to say it again for the record. I think that they could come away and shock the world like they did against TCU against UCLA. Everybody's got UCLA favored to win this game because of Chip Kelly and his amazing spread offense that he runs. They've got some good players on that team. They've got good running back. I'm going to put these up right here for you to see. They got a good running back. This young man, I believe, is Carson. Let me get his name right. Carson Steele, number 33, is their running back. Let's go with their wide receiver. This young man is dynamic. This is J. Michael Stewart. He is their wide receiver. Pretty talented. And like I said, their wide receiver position has been generating 83% of the passing attack in this year's season. They've been getting 83% generated out of it, and they are definitely averaging an incredible 17.1 yards per completion. That's pretty good. And they got to watch out for that. They got another young man who's a dynamic defensive back on this UCLA team. This is Alex Johnson, number 36. So that's a guy that they got a key on when Shador's got a key on this young man when he's throwing the ball out there, because he likes to get his hands on the ball quite a bit. And then we have their linebacker, if I'm not mistaken, number 53, Darius, who definitely likes to get to the quarterback, as you see right there, likes to create a lot of havoc, a lot of problems in that backfield. So this should be a hell of a matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Should I say, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to get at this point in time. Chip Kelly had some pretty positive things to say about CU, and he talked about mainly the swiftness of their wide receiver core. Guys like, Xavier Weaver, who's definitely the leading receiver on this team. Let's give him a clap. Doing incredible things as always. I like what Xavier Weaver has been able to do on this team, leading them in receiver. I think he needs to have, in my estimate, ladies and gentlemen, he needs to have a breakout game. There is no question in my mind, no doubt in my mind, he needs a breakout game. They got to get him out there in the open. Of course, it is no doubt in my mind that they need to get Jimmy Horn, in my opinion, Jimmy Horn Jr., they need to get him involved and get him involved soon. I think if they can get as many of these receivers on the CU team involved early, get them confidence, right? Get the ball in their hands and get things moving. I think sky's the limit for this football team. I think we know what Xavier Weaver has been able to do, but we need Jimmy Horn to really get in there and step up. I think another two young players who we definitely need to count on is, I think, Marion Miller, who did what he did against USC, dearly needs to be in the game. Get him in space, get the ball in his hand. There is, Brother Edwards to the right, number 3, okay? Needs the ball in space. I think it's not time to put him, to try to make him an up-the-middle running back. I think he's better suited out in space. I've said this time and time again. Get him in the passing screen game. Get the ball in the flats to him, have him run to the corners, and he can make some things happen. Once again, they do have to have a balanced running game. That's been one of the Achilles heel, I think, of this CU team, and why I believe Shador has endured a lot of sacks this year is because they have made their offense, in my opinion, I'm not the coach, of course, this is all due respect and respecting Coach Prime and his coaches, though, but I think it appears to me like their offense has been too one-dimensional, which allows defenses to key on what they're doing. And then the running game is supposed to be something that takes time off the clock. It allows you to control the football game along with your passing game. And it can open up a lot of things for Shador by giving him more ability to have play action passes, which when you're not able to run the ball, then the defense won't respect your run and they'll just set up against your pass. Just something like this, hope that they can get that run in game going. Let you see what Chip Kelly had to say about the team. This is fair use once again, with the purpose, ladies and gentlemen, the almighty purpose of educating, parity, okay, critical analysis. This is fair use, ladies and gentlemen. And let's hear what he had to say about CU.
Their outstanding speed, I think, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Edwards at running back, and then that trio of receivers with Weaver, Horn, and Hunter. They all can really run. They can all really go. I think Shador has a great grasp of that offense. Got a really good understanding of it. Does not put the ball in harm's way. And he's really, really good with the football. And they got a good scheme on the offensive side of the ball, to get those guys going. And then defensively, they got a bunch of guys running around getting to the football. So it's a good football team. They're battle tested. They played a lot of good games. They played close games. You know, they had a couple of an overtime win against Colorado State. They lost in double overtime to Stanford. So you've seen them, you know, in really close football games, and they compete and they play hard.
What does that say about a quarterback? I think Shedeur is one of the most hit quarterbacks in the country. I know he's kicking a ton of sacks, and yet he's managed to avoid turnovers.
Yeah, it says a lot about him. I mean, I think he's he's certainly in the conversation for top quarterbacks in the country in the way he's playing right now. He's got a lot of poise. You know, and it's a different deal now for quarterbacks, and I don't think people really appreciate, but I would say that the best quarterbacks are probably the toughest quarterbacks.
I want to say that what Chip Kelly said about Shedeur is fantastic, and it is a good point to bring up that being the most sacked quarterback, he only has 3 interceptions on the year. That's actually outstanding considering the pressure that he's been under in this season. Now, we know that UCLA has been watching the video, and they're going to try to do the same thing that other teams are going to do. They're going to try to blitz, put a lot of pressure on Shedeur, go up the middle of their offensive line, try to break them down. And I think CU is going to have to be really aware of these concerns that will be put before them against this very good UCLA team. Now, if they can put it together, play as a team, even despite some issues, they've got to cut down on their turnovers, because let me give you a breakdown. Right now, penalties average per game. UCLA is has 51 penalties against them, and Colorado's already got 80. That is not good. It's not going to work. Another concern, I get back to the running situation that I was talking about generating a running game. UCLA is a very good running team. They can run the ball. They've got about 16 rushing TDs, while CU only has 9 rushing TDs because we just haven't generated enough running. Okay, now rushing yards. UCLA has 1,509 rushing yards on the season. CU has 604 on the season. Rushing yards per attempt, UCLA is at 5.0 and CU is at 2.7. So clearly UCLA has a slight advantage in their running game because they're running the ball more effectively or more often. This doesn't mean that CU can't do the same thing. They have to be willing to stick with it, push it. Look, you've got Alton, you've got Cavassier Smoke, you've got Savion, who's back now. You got Edwards, who really should be playing out in the flats. They've got to try some different things. Get guys moving in motion like you see in the NFL. Try to create problems for the defense, UCLA's defense. Another thing that I want to announce here that many of you have probably heard about already, and that's Trevor Woods. Now, Trevor Woods currently, as you may or may not know, he has now been moved from the safety position because he's a good tackler, he's a thumper. He has now been moved to a linebacking position. Put a comment in the comment section of this video if you agree with Coach Prime and the coaching staff decision to move him to linebacker from his safety position, because I think he does really well in the box. They could use his tackling. It could help them primarily when they're going up against teams that have a strong running game like a UCLA, who they're going to go up against, and they're going to have to contend with their running game. And I think that Trevor Woods could give them some added pump and thump against this UCLA team and maybe slow the running game down. I think it's a good decision. Trevor Woods is only, I think this is his junior year, so he's going to have another year with this. He's going to get better. Maybe he may blossom into a really great linebacker at the college level within this year going into next. We'll see. But that's what's going on that I want people to be aware of. And you, if you're not, this is another thing that CU actually has an advantage over UCLA, which is why I think they can win. They got, along with Deion Sanders, they got 21 touchdowns on the year. As much as they've been talking about UCLA's great passing game, They've only generated 13 touchdowns so far on this year. So CU has an advantage that when Shedeur throws the ball, he's getting the ball to guys in the end zone, and guys are getting open. And I think they're going to have to continue. I think they've got to push that ball down the field, go deep with it, go with their strength. Although the running game can actually take a lot of pressure off. Okay, but I am not delusional here. We know that their passing game is the strength of this CU team. Okay, yards per attempt, okay, per game for UCLA is 7.8. It's 7.9 for CU. Okay, third down efficiency, UCLA is 45 for 108. While CU is 47 for 107. They're kind of almost even, Steven, there, except for CU just has a little bit more of an advantage, meaning CU is able to get third down efficiency, okay? So that's going to be key in this game. Another thing, interceptions. And this is probably why Chip Kelly is playing different quarterbacks. Right now on the year, UCLA has thrown 10 interceptions, while CU has only given up 3. Once again, football is a game of inches. It's also a game of turnover. Who turns the ball over and who takes advantages of turnovers, but who doesn't turn over the ball has a better chance of winning these football games, okay? So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Turnover ratio, UCLA has a turnover ratio of 3, while they got to clean this up. CU has a turnover ratio of 6. So UCLA doesn't turn the ball over much, but then turnovers come in different ways. Guys can fumble the ball, quarterbacks can throw interceptions. So UCLA still has a tendency of, their quarterbacks for UCLA have a tendency to cough the ball up. Let CU take over in their secondary and get those interceptions by all means, y'all. What do you think? Another thing that I want to bring up statistically between UCLA in terms of third down percentages is at 42.1% on third down percentages. Yards per game, UCLA is at 6.24, which is their average. Yards per game, they're at 464.4. Those are the statistics, but this is what wins football games besides just the statistics. It goes back to what Coach Prime was saying, the heart. What's in the heart of his players? And we will surely see this upcoming Saturday. Okay? Now, let's go back to Chip Kelly. This is for the purpose of educating, parity, news reporting, critical analysis. Let's go back to Chip Kelly one more time.
That can stand in there, even though there's a rush coming, and still deliver the ball where it's supposed to be and not putting it in harm's way. And he does that. He's talking about Shedeur. I think he's the key. So how he goes is how that offense goes. So that's what our attention is this week. Is we need to try to disrupt the timing of the routes, and then we really need to get pressure on the quarterback.
Pressure on the quarterback is exactly what they're going to do. He just told you their game plan right there. We're going to have to get some rush on them. They're going to blitz. They're going to try all kind of elaborate types of formations. They know the key is getting their hands on Shedeur, because Shedeur is what makes this whole train, this whole team go. Okay. And Coach Prime has said, if you keep number 2 upright, he can cause a lot of problems and a lot of incredible things can happen. So I have to ask you all out there, what do you think? Give me your honest opinion about the bye that they had. Trevor Woods going to linebacker now. Oh, I also want to say this young man right here, what I'm hearing is that he's been practicing with the first team. You know who I'm talking about. We're talking about Kamani McLean. We're talking about Kamani. Say it again. We're talking about brother Kamani, who was the number 1 defensive back young man coming out of high school in this recent recruiting class of 2023. So my thing is, I think he needs to start against UCLA. He's another young man who likes to be physical at the point of attack at his position. It looks like he's practicing with the first team. And I'm hoping that because he's practicing with the first team, that ultimately means that he will be starting against UCLA. Leave a message in the chat room, in the comment section of this video, if you see this as something that is reality, because that's what's been put out there, is that he's practicing with the first team. And normally when you're practicing with the first team, then that would normally mean that you're going to be a starting player going into this game. And I hope that that is the case. Once again, I want to say this right here. We need Amarion Miller to be out there showing what he can do as well, everybody, as well as Edwards. These are the young players on this team who I think could make the difference in them winning the game if they can show up, show out, and get opportunity. Opportunity is what it always boils down to, ladies and gentlemen.
Tell the truth.
So I think I want to say thank you out there for watching this program. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification. If you like what you see in this channel, once again, subscribe. Share this video on all your social media. If you're a content creator, share it in your community tab. I appreciate you all out there. We're at 26,000 subscribers and going up. We're going to keep this thing going. I'm going to tell you right now, for the record, I believe that they can win. I believe that they are going to win. And whether they win or lose, you know that I'm going to be consistent with giving you my commentary on this channel. So everybody out there, this should be a great game. It's going to be an exciting game, one for the ages. Coach Prime says that this team, these players have got to believe in themselves. They have to love the game. They have to believe in themselves, because if you believe in yourself, anything is possible, ladies and gentlemen. We know it, you know it, and everybody, thank you for watching the video. Share it, as I said before, and I will be doing a post-game show after this, surrounding the UCLA CU game, win or lose. But I'm putting my money that they're gonna win. I think they're gonna shock the world. I think they're going to surprise people. I think they're going to wake up and realize that it's more about not the superficial attention that this team's been getting, but it's about what they do on the field. Let me know what you think about this video. Leave comments what you think about what they're going to do against UCLA. And with that said, everybody, thank you. Peace.
Right now, not later. Right now. I don't know if y'all know it, but we're gonna win. I don't know if you feel it, but we're gonna win. I don't know if you can see it, but we're gonna win. You got to understand, we're gonna win right now, not later. Right now. I don't know if y'all know it, but we're gonna win. I don't know if you feel it, but we're gonna win.